All right, we are here and we are live tonight. This is, well, kind of Monday, but it's not
Is
so
this
much.
Monday? I don't know if this is Monday or not.
It feels like
confused.
it.
I'm so confused.
It feels like it's Monday, but it's not quite. We got to decorate the studio. Jimmy spent a lot of hours decorating the studio and hanging up all the branches and boughs up around us here. So have to make sure we have that all there so everyone can enjoy Jimmy's decorating. Good evening, everyone. We are here. It's Tuesday night. It's time to talk some DJ things. We have Shani with us tonight. And Shani's been working and traveling and doing her things all around the country once again because she's that kind of a woman who does that kind of stuff.
I am.
It's sleeping in the boroughs of New York.
I am. Sleeping on a 4-foot bed in New York.
Oh, man. Is there another show tonight? Yes, there's 2 shows tonight. Shani's were on for the first hour, and then Brian Red will be on. Brian's show is the actual initially scheduled show because I was only going to do one show, but you guys were way too persuasive in saying, can we do more than one show a night? And of course, I'm a sucker for that. So yes, we're doing 2 shows a night. So Shani is the bonus show, which you can't get much better than a bonus show with Shani. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, seriously. I mean, what could be better than seeing me on an off night?
I don't know. I mean, really, twice in 1 week. Really, you think about it. Tuesday and then next Monday, you'll be back again. It'll be awesome.
That's right.
It will be awesome. So, Shani, I was thinking about it today. You are one of the few DJs that has performed at events at both of the major DJ conventions, which is kind of interesting because there aren't that many that have done that. So I wanted to kind of start out with for those who haven't gone to the different DJ conventions, can you do a little compare and contrast the difference between the crowds that you've run into on an East Coast show, the DJ Expo, and when you were out at Mobile Beat?
Yeah,
and you were at Drax's too, so you've got
I presented at Drax's, and I've also DJ'd on the main floor there. It's very different. DJ Times, for those that don't know, is in Atlantic City, and it attracts a lot of East Coast people. Barely any West Coast people actually go to that one. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because of the traveling. I mean, it's hard for me to get to Atlantic City if I want to go there direct, but I don't know why a lot of the West Coast people don't go there. And for those that don't know, it's in August. So it's, and for those that don't know, any of these conferences, these are all during the week as well. So, they have to be during the week for all of us to be able to go to them. And that one, it's like comparing apples and oranges to Mobile Beat. Mobile Beat, of course, is Vegas. It's coming up in March. To me, that one attracts a lot of West Coast and out of the country people for Mobile Beat. I meet a lot of people from everywhere, from England, from Australia, from all over the place. And I love it. That one, I think, is a mixture of like a melting pot of people. And I don't know if it's because it's Vegas. I want to say I think it's probably, no offense to Mobile Beat and Ryan and those guys, but I kind of think it's more because it's Vegas. I really do.
I think there's definitely parts of that people are like, let's go to Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's, and then they just changed the dates again last year back to March because they were February for a good while. And then I think they moved them back to the way it originally was. And it's in March. So it's definitely 2 different groups of people, in my opinion, that go to the conferences. Like I said, the DJ Times one is more of an East Coast kind of vibe, more of people who kind of can drive there and, kind of come in for a day or leave, or, they just come in and they could drive there. Whereas the Mobile Beat, basically most of the people, even some of the California people, fly there. Mm-hmm. So most of the people are flying to Vegas. So it attracts a lot more people. And, Drax's show is no longer as of right now, but that one too attracted people from all over. And I think that's just because it was a Vegas show as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're definitely hitting the nail on the head that Vegas is an attraction. And as they refer to Atlantic City as what the East Coast underarm or armpit or something like that. Yeah, and it kind of smells that way. So, of course, Vegas has its smells too, so I'm not going to...
Yeah, Vegas isn't so pretty and as people think it is. I mean, it's kind of sad too when you walk down the streets and you just see, the homeless like right there next to the $1 million hotels and stuff. But yeah, I don't consider both of them high class, if you ask me.
Yeah, not so much. So between the two, you have performed at both, actually multiple, but which one is more stressful, playing in front of your peers, or is it pretty much the same for you between the two? Because you're playing in front of some large crowds of some very accomplished DJs.
Yeah, it's, you know what? It's a toss up because this year there were some heavy hitters that came in from New York, some known DJs and MCs in the hip hop world that showed up on the showroom floor. So I was like really nervous about that when I saw them kind of walk by. But in Vegas, I mean, you never know who's gonna show up and like just, come through. Little John always comes through on the showroom floor when he's in Vegas, but I think he does that in Atlantic City too.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, when I say Little John, yes, it is the Little John that I'm talking about that has all the songs and everything, but he actually is an incredible DJ. He knows what he's doing. He really, when he spins, he is a great DJ, and he's actually a really good business person too. I've had conversations with him, and it's a whole persona that he puts on when he does a show. And when you talk to him outside of that world, it blows your mind on the stuff that he could talk about. But I mean, for me, at being in front of my peers anyways, it's, to me, that's always harder than being in front of just a bunch of guests at a party that don't know anything. So being at the conferences, you're always going to get people trying to nitpick and pick you apart and do everything. But I don't look at it like that. I just look at it, look, I'm going to do exactly what I would do if I was home, if I was in a club, if I was doing a private event. But it is nerve-wracking knowing that the whole entire audience that's watching you are DJs, and they might know the same exact thing and they might know more, and they might be better than what you're doing. So you just have to show them the love that you have for DJing. And when I do DJ, I try to put on like a show, and by a show I don't mean like I'm setting things on fire and things like that. But I try to take, I could, but I try to take people like on a musical journey when I do my sets. I really do. Each set that I do, for anyone that kind of tries to analyze my set, I take people on a journey through my set. And as much as it's not pre-programmed, I kind of have an idea of where I want to go with my set to kind of take people on that journey. Of course, I don't know the songs I'm going to do, but I know, like, okay, maybe I'll go old school with this set. Okay, this set's going to be more of a trap and a twerk and a house set. This is going to be that. And I kind of try to take people on a journey. Now, last year, I don't know if I could top what I did last year, but last year I did the play on words. And for anyone that's ever done that when they DJ, it's very, very hard. And do you know what the play on words is, John?
No, please explain that.
So play on words is when you are, spinning a song, and you the sentence ends with like the word or something. And then the next song that I play starts with that. So I try to do something like that, whether I'm doing like cameo word up, and then I go into like another song that has, something like that. I was kind of trying to do like a play on words with my set, just to do something different, to show people that, there's all different creative things you can do when you're DJing, and it's not, and I just try to entertain the crowd. I want people smiling and enjoying the music, and, they don't have to be dancing, because a lot of them are videotaping, because that's all what we do nowadays is hold our phones and everything, and we videotape. But I try to just, have some people, if they could walk away and enjoy what I did, at a conference like that, then I'm happy.
So when you're going to play, when you're playing at these events, and you mentioned you did the play on words, but how much of the music, you mentioned you're still going to be kind of bouncing around, you don't know the exact songs, but there's got to be some songs that you're like, okay, I want to make sure I work this into my set. How much of that would you have going on before you get there? Or how much of it's going to be literally, okay, I'm going to be playing 30 songs, and I'm going to get that divine inspiration, or I'm going to pick those 30 or 29 songs. I know I'm starting with this song, kind of a thing.
Right. I mean, I probably know what song I'm going to start with. So I definitely know that. And, I might know about 2 or 3 songs that I really want to fit in, that, this is going to just blow everybody's mind if I put these songs in there. So I'll have those in a crate already. And in my head, and this is always like, this is why I can't prepare. In my head, I'll know that I want to maybe do a house set. Mm-hmm. So I'll be like, okay, I'll prepare, I'll pull like 30 house tracks. And then from those 30, I'll pull whatever songs I want. But sometimes I'll just be in the moment and I'll see what crowd that is in front of me and I'll totally change it up. And I mean, that's what happened last year when I did like the DJ takeover. I had this whole entire set planned of I was going to do this, I was going to do this, I was going to, do more hip hop and trap and this and that. And with Keith Shockley, I ended up doing like a whole entire house set at the end. And I just dropped everything that I had in my head and did a transition song to get me from like 90 to about like 125 and just ended up doing the whole transition song and just build up the crowd. Cause I kind of felt like they were into it, but it was kind of too slow for the time that I was spinning. I think I was spinning like around 12:30 and I think they wanted more of that like EDM house type of dancing around. People were already drunk by then. So I figured, screw what I had in my head. Let's just do a house set and just get them going crazy and drop the bass and, just go crazy with it. And that's what I ended up doing. So I have, a couple things prepared, but I've learned from the past, even when I'm at the club, I can't prepare anything. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going to walk in. I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know what people are really vibing with. What's going to happen. So I try to prepare maybe 2 or 3 songs, especially my opening song. Like for something like that, I always know like what I'm going to open with to kind of get the crowd over to me. And then I go from there.
Sure. When you're playing for other DJs, were you trying to pick songs that they knew? Were you looking for recognition or were you kind of doing a mix of that or what, how are you going with that?
What I normally like to do is just things. I like to do remixes and I like to do stuff that people like never heard of, or maybe they have heard. So I was doing a lot of, when I did my trap set, I was doing a lot of, I don't even want to say just hip hop because it was rock. I was doing hip hop, old school hip hop. I was doing rock and I was doing old school R&B that was remixed, that I remixed like trap style. Mm-hmm. So people knew the song, but they're like, oh my God, I haven't heard that song. That's crazy. I mean, like I did Get Low When the Whistle Blows with a remix of Backstreet Boys, like mashed up together. So it had the beat with it. And then you just heard the Backstreet Boys singing over it. So people were like, wait, I know that's a current wait, I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know which way I want to go with this. So, it was like, I kind of like to have people think when they hear what's going on. I'm one of those DJs where I want, especially if I'm in front of other DJs, I want to be different. Mm-hmm. And I want to, be able to leave the stage and have them think like, who was that? What, right. What did she just play? That was like crazy. Was it like, I've never heard stuff like that, especially if they go to Shazam it and they can't Shazam it. I wanted to like try to figure something out, and maybe it's somebody in the chat room knows how to do it, that if they go to Shazam my songs that I remixed, like my picture pops up with like boop or like something. Something. Some people are like, oh, I can't get that song. Just
no, that'd be funny.
Like a little emoji of like me just dancing.
Like, sorry, not gonna happen.
Sorry, not gonna get that song. You're not gonna find it on Amazon or iTunes.
So do you actually do some of the remixing of some of the things you play, or are you finding these from different locations?
Both. Both. I'm not the greatest, producer. So I'm just very, very simple and basic because I don't have a lot of time to sit in the studio like my friends. And literally, I mean, they'll sit in there for 8-9 hours because they're doing, mixes for the radio and for the pools that people belong to. A lot of them are like my friends that they're downloading. Right. I don't have time like that. And I just don't have the patience. So I'll just do some basic stuff, but a lot of them I'll get from like my friends and things like that. And I'll dig deep in the crates in some of these record pools and find stuff that just nobody's heard of. Or I'll say to my friends, hey guys, I was thinking, can I mix this and this and make it just this great beat of like a house beat with this behind it? How do I do it? And they'll tell me, and then I'll work on it. So I try to throw in like a couple of those when I'm doing the conferences, just to blow the DJs' minds, sure. Just for them to be like, oh my God, that I'd never thought of like those 2 songs. That was awesome.
One concern I've had, and I haven't done as much with pools and some of those music services, but I did get a couple, and the quality of the track, I didn't think it had the same fidelity. Have you run into that? I mean, is that a common issue, or was I just unfortunate with the track that I had found?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, whatever you're getting from pools or anywhere, you have to listen to it. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to download this and I'll play it, Saturday. You definitely have to. I mean, I listen to it anyways because I have to hit my cue points and where I want to set everything. But there's been a lot of times where I've got stuff and I'm like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be, or this doesn't sound great, or they said it was clean and it's not clean for my private event, but I definitely played at the club. So yeah, I've run into that numerous times, but some of the pools that I belong to are really great, and they they're exactly what they are, so I like that a lot.
So you mentioned, of course, using these types of mixes and wanting to surprise. That was with the DJs. Now, if you're going to go to a private function, so you were just working with a corporate event, do you do the same thing there, or do you try to do a little bit more mainstream top 40 with those?
I am so conservative at my conferences. Very, very, like, it's funny that they only know me as like conservative, Shani, the producer / DJ of our events. They don't, unless they're, a personal Facebook friend of mine or on our business page. They don't, yeah, I'm very, very, very conservative with the music. In fact, I probably don't do the only remixes I do. There's one conference that I do that really wants that Tony Robbins feel. So at like 6 a.m, when their attendees are walking in, I'm going so EDM, dropping the bass, like to the point that the hotel even comes in the room, was like, can you guys like turn this down? Like, we can hear you all the way, So like on that one, yeah, the first 20 minutes of them walking in, because they even have those thunder sticks that are like sitting on chairs. So like when they walk in, they're hitting their thunder sticks, and I'm just like going with like just the energy in the room. But like the one that I just did in Brooklyn, when people were walking in, it's top 40, but also I go off of like when I start seeing the ages of the crowd that's walking in, I might even change the music to what the client tells me they think they want.
Sure.
And, and then I kind of change it, and then they're like, oh yeah, that was great that you did that. I did, I let them tell me what they want, and I say, okay. And I'll start with that because they're my corporate client, but then I go with what I think is best for the clients. But when I'm working with them, unless a presenter comes up to me and wants something crazy for when they're on stage, I'm very conservative with all my music, and I don't do a lot of mixing. I'm more of the event producer when I'm there. And they really, even when they're at, having lunch, if lunch is in that room as well, I'm playing kind of like more background so they can talk. Sure. And it's like, I'm not really mixing. Like I'm not being a real DJ. And for those that, are always DJing, if they're like me, you're like, oh God, I just want to be able to just like mix one song. Like I just want to be able to like just turn the volume a little, maybe in the yellow a little, like just kind of like hit it a little on my meter, like just a little bit, But yeah, I'm very conservative when it comes to the corporate stuff when I'm doing their conferences.
And for see, we know obviously you've done the DJ conventions on the corporate side. Now, how about do you get into the wedding side of it too very much, or?
Yeah, I don't do that many weddings because most of the stuff that I'm doing are the corporate stuff and the bar and bat mitzvahs and the sweet 16s of like MTV, My Super Sweet 16s, where they have the money trees in the back of their. But there's other people in our company that do weddings, but those that request me, I love doing weddings, and I do the weddings because the weddings that I do are very club type weddings. And I'm not saying like they're spending the money of like they want this and that and moving heads and stuff like that, but music wise, they say, let's play, the older stuff at the beginning for like the older crowd. But once we really hit that dancing, I want it like we're at a club. And I'm like, that's awesome. So I'll definitely do remixes and I'll hit like, all the crazy type of music and not just do the radio friendly normal track of what you always hear on the radio. I'll do all remixes and everything, unless they say to me, I don't want any remixes. Like some of the schools will say to me, the kids really like to sing the songs.
Yeah.
But this DJ came in and did this remix, and they went to sing, the first word of Frozen, and it wasn't there. And then all they did was so
All night
so
long.
right? And they just wanted to sing Let It Go. That's all they wanted to sing. So yeah, I mean, school events, when it's the young kids, I won't do any of the remixes. But even my 8th graders, they want remixes. They want what they hear on the radio on the weekends here. So my wedding clients want that too. There's been maybe once or twice where I didn't go crazy for a wedding client and they just wanted like normal wedding type music and normal top 40 and not remixes, which I have, and I have no problem doing it. But a lot of mine want the remixes and want the club style.
Sure. Interesting. I've got a couple more spots I want to hit. We're going to take a little bit of break. I want to run the sponsors for our 12 Days of Christmas, and then we'll come back and we're going to do a drawing for in the chat room. So we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
It's that time of year again. Time to sign up for the Disc Jockey News 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. This year we have 12 days packed full of amazing prizes you can win. On the first day, you can win 5 specialty video downloads worth $125 from promo only. On day 2, someone is going to win a full show pass for Mobile Beat Las Vegas 2017. Up for grabs on day 3 is 3 months of digital downloads from Top Hits USA. On day 4, you can win a Swarm 5 FX from Chabé DJ. Multiple winners on night 5 means you can win either a Weather System EXA from Blizzard Lighting or one of 4 copies of Dex 3 software from PC DJ. On night 6, we're giving away a Stinger Star from ADJ. You can make your own Christmas star if you win the prize on night 7, an Uno Laser Legacy GBC from ProX. On the 8th day, you can win 1 year of digital downloads from Prime Cuts. Up for grabs on the 9th day is an iPad Mini brought to you by DJ Event Planner. On the 10th day, you have a chance to win a Newmark NV2 DJ controller. Win on the 11th day, and you can be playing your holiday music from a set of EKX 12-piece speakers from EV. And finally, on the 12th day, JBL is offering up a shiny new pair of PRX 815W speakers. Bonus prize, all the winners from each night will also receive their own pair of gig gloves. You even have a chance to snag up some official Disc Jockey News gear just by joining our chat room on each night's live show. To sign up, stop by discjockeynews.com/12 days of Christmas. No purchase is necessary and all prizes will be delivered by Christmas. Best of luck, everyone.
All right, we are back. Those are the sponsors for the 12 Days of Christmas 2016. The links are in the description below, pretty much of all the videos. So if you are looking for something and they can help you, show them some love. Tell them you saw that they were part of the 12 Days of Christmas, because without them, these things wouldn't happen. Shani, during the break, we drew and we have our winner. We're going to be giving away either a subscription to the 1-year subscription to the Disc Jockey News, or if they've already got that and such, we can do one of the DJ and TV shirts. And our winner, we did that so you guys, we did the number and we counted up and such while we were in break. And the winner is Ian Moon. Ian is in the chat room right now. So
he is, yeah.
Yep, because we're just drawing from one of the chat room people. So Ian, we'll just message me and we'll get things set up for you of what we are going to do for you. And thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you all for being with us tonight. We just checked whilst we were in break also, and we have over 80 people between Facebook and YouTube watching the show here. So yay.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free. I'm looking at the chat now. I wasn't when I was talking. Sorry, I didn't want you guys to feel like I was doing this. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away, since it's just me in the room today with John, and my crew's not with me.
Yeah, exactly. So. Usually Big Dan and MJ, they watch that chat room pretty well.
Right, exactly.
Because I've been blind, and Shani's carrying the conversation. So without those two guys here, we're struggling.
Right. Exactly.
So a few directions I want to continue on, but let's start. You mentioned cue points, that when you get a track, you go and set cue points. For the people who aren't familiar with cue points and how you use them, kind of give us a little rundown of how you use cue points with your show.
Yeah, I'm very particular with my cue points, just because I use songs in so many different ways. So I probably have like about 8 cue points on all my songs. Of course, I set one of them from like the beginning of the song of where it's going to come in, but I also set my cue point of where I want to start mixing it. So that really would be my first cue point. Even though, the song starts at a cue point, that's probably, sometimes that's not even my first cue point. My first cue point is, because some of them have like a long intro of maybe, right. and I'm talking like over 48 or something. So I'm a hot mixer. So I don't like that long intro unless the MC's really talking, but if I have to do that, I'll loop or something. So my very first cue point is always where I'm going to start my mix from. And then I also put a cue point where the words start. So I know exactly like where my mix really has to stop. Mm-hmm. If it's a quick, like I got to mix this within 16 counts, I got to mix it within 8, or I can do like a long mix and I could do some crazy stuff while we're mixing. So another one of my cue points is like where the words start for the song, because if it's something that the kids or adults or anybody wants to sing, I want to make sure that they hear it and they hear it clearly and it's not jumbled up with whatever I was playing from before. Sure. And now they know that I'm already into the next song. And then I might have another cue point where a chorus is, just in case I need to get to a chorus if with kids I'm playing a name that tune game or something. Or even with the adults, if I'm playing, even on some of my adult parties, I play like guys versus girls type singing. Mm-hmm. And when I do stuff like that, I don't want to start it from the beginning of a song, because what do most people know of songs? They know choruses. So I want to hit it really quick and really fast and get the crowd going. So I'll hit a cue point exactly where that chorus is. So the minute those women hear, respect or something, they know those words and they know to sing, and they're not going, what you respect what you want, baby. I got, so I hit that, and then I might even hit another cue point of where I want to start mixing out. If it's like, because if it might be like a cold stop on the song or something, or there's like 4 different verses of it, and I'm like, nobody even knows this. I don't even know there were 4 verses of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or something. So I have another cue point of where I want to mix out of it, and then there might be some other cue points for other stuff that I just kind of put in there. If this is like a point where I just want to keep hitting the button, so like they keep hearing, I do like stupid stuff. Like if a song says like stop, I'll just keep hitting like stop, says stop, like something like that. And I just keep like messing with people, and I'll hit like cue points like that. So I have cue points for a lot of stuff.
And you mentioned in one of our other shows that a lot of the songs that you're getting from the pools already have some cue points set with them. Is that correct?
They do, and I probably don't use them. They do, and I love that they do that, but some of those cue points, I don't even understand. Like, I'll listen to it, and then I'll see where the cue point is in, and I'm like, I don't understand why.
Who was drunk when they did this?
Yeah, like somebody, I don't know what this cue point is here. I get excited when I see it, and then I'll listen to the song, and I'll be like, and delete, and delete, and delete, and delete. And I'll delete those cue points, and I'll just end up putting like my own in there. So I've tried to like figure out like what their cue points are for. And I'm like, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'll just reset my own cue points.
Mm-hmm. Do you do music video as well as? Because I think when I've seen you perform, I don't think I've seen you doing video.
Yeah, I do music video. When I do it here, I do an upcharge for our clients. So if they want the videos played, I do charge more, and I charge more for my other DJs as well. In the clubs too. If they haven't, it was really big for a good while, like years ago when it first became really popular in the clubs. We were doing it for a good while. Then the clubs kind of figured out the same thing we figured out. People stand around and they just watch the videos. So they're not dancing, they're not sweating, they're not going to the bar, they're not, getting anything to drink. And for me with the private functions too, they stop dancing and they just start watching the videos. Yep. Now, my music videos, I try to explain to my clients, instead of playing quote unquote music videos, I'll do ambient videos. Yep. Because it's very hard nowadays to find a music video that is not dirty. And by not dirty, I mean, and I'm not talking about just for the kids, you might have some adults that don't want to see a thong. Yep. Or don't want to see, you know, half naked women or guys smoking weed or this and that. And you don't know who you're offending on a party that could be a future client. So I try to sell them what I call kind of like ambient type videos. Now, yes, it could be the stuff from like promo only, where it's got like the crazy stars and triangles and things like that. But I also work on stuff, and I'll do clips from old dance movies like Fred Astaire and things like that. But I'll also do cartoons, funny cartoons of like Tom and Jerry. And I'll do like scenes where like, you know, Jerry's like, you know, Tom's chasing Jerry and things like that. And I even have clips of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like of you know, him doing the Carlton and like of Will dancing around and things like that. So I do funny clips like that. And I'll even take stuff from movies. I've done stuff from like Pulp Fiction, the dance scene where he's dancing with her wife and they're doing the dance contest and things like that. So I try to keep it creative when I do that, because I am charging the client extra money. And so I'll do that. So that will just pop up when I'm playing my normal, you know, my normal songs. But if I see there is a clean video, which is few and far in between, I will play it. You know, if there's like an Adele song, for some reason we're doing a slow song, I have no problem popping that like up on there and having them, you know, she could sing, you know, hello to whoever she wants while they're slow dancing or something, if that was a request. But I like the ambient. I really like throwing in the ambient because it's very creative. And while people are eating dinner, I'll do stuff like I'll play the Pulp Fiction one and I'll play the audio with it. So you'll hear like the audio of them doing the dance contest, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that was a funny scene. That was a funny scene." So I'll do things like that. I even have incorporated from YouTube, if everybody does remember, that crazy old DJ guy that's sitting at like a table and he's just like dancing like this while he's, you know, I'll put that, you know, in there. I have just like crazy stuff that are just so creative that I'll play that will just blow like people's mind. So I try to do more of that than the Pitbull videos, because you can't even, you know, everybody wants Pitbull, but I can't play the Pitbull videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I just can't.
Yeah, because he takes his sunglasses off and everyone gets offended at that. So
right, exactly.
Let's see. Do we have any question? I thought I saw a couple of question marks.
I wasn't looking. I'm sorry.
No,
guys.
that's okay. Well,
I was talking.
I want to make sure that if you guys had some questions in that. Let's talk gear.
Yes.
What is DJ Shani's preferred system? Now, we've talked a little bit about it on other shows, but let's kind of dig into it. What do you travel with when you're doing your shows, and what's your go-to?
Okay, when I travel, I try to travel as light as possible. Now, for the DJ conferences, I don't have a rider, since we're supplying everything, whether it's a production company in another city that's under our name, we're providing that stuff. So I actually, for my DJ conferences, I bring my little SR Pioneer controller, just a little 2-channel one. It's perfect. I bring that for conferences. Is it my ideal one to DJ and drop the bass with? No, but it's perfect for what I need for the conferences. When I'm at home, I would love to say that I want to bring out, you know, the mixer and CDJs all the time, but I'm not carrying all that. Like I'm just not. So I wait, you know, that's the club stuff. You know, I'll use the Nexus system and everything in the club. I use, right behind me right here, I have the SZ behind me. And then I also have the RZ, depending on if I want to do I'll do record box tonight. But yeah, I mean, and I like the SZ because first of all, it's 4-channel. So for me, it has the same feeling as like the mixers that I'm used to. And the platters for me feel like it's the CDJ platters. So is it big to carry around? Yes, but that's on wheels. And, you know, I could put it on a rock and roll cart and just, you know, put all my gear on that and take it in and everything. So for me, it's not that big of a deal to travel with that when it's got wheels and everything.
So you've got a variety of different controllers and such, and you've got the CDJs. If you're playing to the exact same crowd using each one of those devices on a different night, and if in a perfect world you could do the same music at each crowd, would I be able to tell without looking that you were using one and not the other?
No, because let me put it this way, as much as I'm like pro Pioneer and as I'm Pioneer, and Pioneer sponsored and this and that, I'm not one of those people that like, oh, I would never use Denon. Oh, I would never use Newmark. Oh, I never use. My whole thing is if you can mix or you can do this, you can do it on anything. Give me a Hercules controller. I'll mix on that. I might not be able to scratch as good, but I mean, my whole thing is it's the talent that the person has. And yeah, will I be more comfortable on the SZ or a mixer in CDJs? Because when I use those, I use the channel faders and not the crossfader. Yeah, because I'm more comfortable that way. But on the SR, because there's only 2 channels, I'm hitting the crossfader, when I'm mixing. So I'm doing it like the scratch style where I'm hitting the crossfader, where I'm used to just doing it on my channel faders. And yes, I'm turning knobs and doing this. I think somebody asked me that earlier. And yes,
they were waiting for that.
I'm doing it. So I'm more comfortable with the club style of what I grew up learning on. But I love my SR because it's so little and so light, and I can do exactly what I do on that on the bigger stuff and flawlessly and mix it perfectly. And, and I'm not one, as I say, like the young DJs that don't have the skills, that are turning the knobs and hitting the effects. I don't need to do any of that. And I don't I might just hit a reverb or a filter here and there on like a EDM song or something, but I don't need to do any of that. So I'm thankful and that I have put the work in and the practice, and I still do it every week, that I can do a set on, a mixer and CDJs, and I could do that same, if I recorded that and I did the same set on the SR and recorded it and said, okay, John, here, this, taste the peanut butter and tell me which one is Jif and which one is Skippy, which one is the SR and which one is the, CDJs or something. Hopefully you wouldn't be able to tell, because I have that confidence that my skills make me be able to go on whatever equipment is in front of me. Let me learn how to move around it. Got it. Okay. Step back, because I'm going to do the same skills that I have. I won't be one of those people like, oh, this is what you have. I don't want it. I'm not going to mix on that. I'm not like, I don't care. If they want to see me mix, I will do a killer set for you guys and then move the facade and say, I just did it on the smallest piece of equipment that you've ever seen in your life, and I bought it at Target.
See, now that this sounds like a challenge that we have to see if we can get this set up. Can Shani
give me a play school little? I'm sure there's gonna be one that's out for Christmas or something.
I mean, at NAMM, there's some stuff down there that's a little that's probably not far from the play school.
Right.
Tables. Howie was wondering, how often do you travel?
Oh, that's a good question. Now that I'm healthy again and I'm cleared and I'm back into it. I'm probably only traveling now because I kind of slowed down on the traveling just because it really takes a toll on me now. So I'm probably just traveling like once a month now, where I was traveling more than that. So I was just in New York this month, and then next month I travel again. Yeah, so I'm doing like once a month now.
Mm-hmm. Ian was wondering why you need a controller when software does it all.
Software does it all, as in the sync button on my software, or internal?
I think either software can do so terribly much, and I've run into others who have made that, and I think Ian's kind of was maybe a little silly with that, but okay. It has been something.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, nowadays you don't need. I mean, you could hook up your laptop to a speaker, and I mean, people go through iTunes. I've seen DJs go through iTunes or whatever, but I'm old school, and I want to show the skills that I learned what to do with. So I'm always going to show what I can do on any type of equipment, and show people, especially being a female in the industry, show people that I could probably blow, a lot of these guys out of the water with my skills on top of it. So when I get they're like, wow, you're good for a female. I'm like, wait, I'm a female? So glad you told me tonight. I'm going to make sure I go in the right bathroom.
Without that knowledge, I would not have.
Woo! So now I'll make sure people know that. Next person that comes up to me to talk to me, the first thing I'm going to say is, I'm female, before you say anything.
Yeah, exactly. You make sure we get this out there. Just have
right.
to. I think though, for those who are, if that question of why a controller, and I've done a video on this, is that when you move from a mouse to a controller and you get that tactile feel and you're able to start songs instantly and to be able to start one and adjust the other one, and you can't do that with a mouse. You can't be in two places at one time on a mouse. You can with a controller, and I think just that alone makes it much more valuable. There was another question up here. Just I want to see if I can find that.
And I'm trying to look.
Your mixes. Do you have your mixes posted anywhere, like in SoundCloud or anything?
Yeah, I hate SoundCloud now. I was tired of, some of my stuff getting bounced off of there. So I actually I don't have a home for my mixes. So if anybody has a good spot now, whether it be if people are using Mixcloud or if there's a good spot, I'll be more than happy to start doing my mixes again, especially some of the Chicago house and the trap and some of the stuff that people aren't really used to hearing outside of Chicago. So I was on SoundCloud. I'm not anymore. So please let me know what you guys think is the best place for my mixes. And I'll let you guys know where you can hear some of my mixes and on whatever equipment I'm on.
Yeah, you do know I'm going to be looking for the Fisher Price turntable.
I'll rock that too. I'll scratch on it. I'll rock it. I'll take it to a gig.
We got a great question from Kyle, but I don't know if it's one that we want to attack here. I think we may want to put this one later. Kyle's question was, when should I keep my day job and DJ full-time, or when should you make the move to moving to full-time DJ?
That's like that's a long question.
That's a long one, and
that's a long one. I mean, my whole thing about that, long story short, is you do it when you feel it's right. I don't want you to quit your day job and not make enough income to support you and what else, whoever else you're supporting, whatever else you're supporting, bills, anything else, family. If you feel that you have enough gigs and enough events and that you can make that jump to full-time DJ, do it. My whole thing is I love what I do. It's my passion. And there's not a lot of people in this world that can say they love what they do for a living. How many people do we know that we talk to on a daily basis that either sits in a cubicle or comes home from work and, complains about their job? Yeah, we have some of those events where, we complain about, but on the whole, we all, we help people celebrate for a living, and that's a great thing. So for him, once he feels that he has enough events, or if he's turning down gigs because they're interfering with his day job and things like that, that's when you start thinking, okay, what's my next plan? Let me talk to my lawyer. Let me talk to my accountant, or let me talk to whoever does my finances and make that jump. We could get into that all on a different show, but that, you have to decide when you feel it's right for you and your clientele and your jobs, if you can make that move. Yeah.
And some people I've met very, very talented DJs who you would think would be an obvious move to go full time, and their comfort level. They needed to have the security of the 40-hour a week job to be awesome on the weekend. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, for those that, don't know, that haven't been following like our Monday night show, I ended up in the hospital and I ended up being very, very sick to the point where I was down for 2 months. Yeah. And when I say down for 2 months, I wasn't working, period. And I've lost a lot of my other clients, not like the private event stuff, but I lost like my fashion events. I lost my club gigs. People undercutted me here in Chicago, took over my residencies, took over my club stuff. I lost a lot of my travel gigs. So I'm hurting right now, like, I'll be honest, like those medical bills are coming in and I'm just like in tears trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But I'm back hustling and trying to do what I have to do because this is my full-time gig now. Yeah, people that know me know that like I teach my dance classes and I teach my Taekwondo because that has always been the passion of what I've done with the kids. But that stuff doesn't pay the bills. Like that, to me, I always joke around and I say like that's my gas money, or that's like when I want to make a little DJ purchase of this or that, I can, use that money. But that would never be the money that I'm supporting on. So I'm trying to hustle right now and support myself and pay my bills and do whatever I have to do, from being down and out where I wasn't coming back to a 9-to-5 job. And it wasn't like I had that, full-time paycheck coming back. Yeah. So if you want to make that jump, you have to make sure you're ready to make that jump, the good times and the bad times with it.
Got a couple minutes left here, gang. There's a couple of questions, and some I don't understand. Art Sanchez, I'm not sure on that. You say your old school music inspired you, or person, or is it maybe a person inspired?
Oh, yeah. I'm, being in Chicago house has always been, big for me. And my whole thing is, I used to be a dancer, so I was a dancer for a lot of the Chicago house artists. So here in Chicago, Farley, Jackmaster Funk still is a good friend of mine. I open for him a lot here in Chicago, and I'm just like, it's like, even when I still open for him, and yes, I open for DJs, there's no shame in my game. For somebody like that, I'm blessed to share a stage with someone like that. But I mean, Frankie Knuckles, I remember when Frankie Knuckles was in Chicago. So people like that, when it comes to the old school house, those are the inspirations I look up to. And like, I'm really good friends with some incredible Chicago DJs, like guys from Jump Smokers, who I used to be really good, that I'm really good friends with. So I look up to them, even though, they're the same age as me, the people like that. I call them if I ever have a question and this and that. But there's DJs all in New York and, who I'm friends with, like Scribble and things like that, that I look up to all the time as my mentors. And I'm always learning. To me, I'm learning all the time. I'm not the best. I've never said I was. And to anyone who's better than me, I want to learn from them. So I take that attitude.
One last thing, Shani, I want you to touch on a little bit. You mentioned practice. How much time do you dedicate to practicing and preparing beyond your event time?
Not enough. I really don't feel, somebody else would be like, wow, you practice, at least once a week. I don't feel I practice enough, because with I feel I can always do better. I'm very hard on myself. So with everything that's going on, if I have a really, really big event coming up, I want to make sure I'm prepared, and I'm not talking about just preparing music. I'm talking about being on my gear and mixing. Plus it's fun for me. It's fun on a late night and for me to decompress. Music is my life. Music makes me happy through everything that I've been going through. Music is what's gotten me through everything. So I just love coming in, closing the door, just turning on the speakers and just doing a set, whether it's just a fun set that I'm recording or just having some fun for myself. So I try to do that at least once a week if possible.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. I see in the chat room there, some people are talking and sharing about making the jump. And I see, it looks like we have Tori talking about a husband and things involved. Friday night, actually, it's going to be a different show on Friday night, because it's going to actually be myself and Lori, my wife, is going to be on. And that's actually an area we're going to talk about. Is she was involved with a full-time job as we made the transition from us being 2 full-time jobs to a full-time 16-system DJ company throughout the 90s, and then the direction we went today. So she's going to have a perspective on it that is probably going to be vastly different than mine, just because of the direction and such, even though we're both involved in the process. So that'll be Friday night at 9 o'clock. That'll be 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. We'll be doing that on Friday. So, Shani, thank you much for being on tonight. You're
welcome. Thanks, guys. I had a lot of fun, being one-on-one tonight, because we never get to do that. So
no, we don't. And right now you're holding the record with 50 people watching on YouTube. So
I love my DJ family. I love you. If any of you guys have any questions or want to contact me, you definitely can go to my personal Facebook page, Shani Barnett. You don't have to go to my work page, because probably like one of our interns will probably get it. Or you can go to Shade and be like, well, I don't understand this question. Do they want to book a party? Or you can go to my Shani Barnett Productions Facebook page, or you can follow me on Instagram and see where I've been traveling. Or if you just want to laugh really hard, you can follow me on Snapchat and just see my adventures when I'm out and about of my daily routine of making people laugh, because I'm very not serious on my Snapchat. So yes, you could definitely see me do a boop here and there.
And of course, on Monday, you can catch her on Monday, where that is part of her repertoire.
Yes.
Good stuff. I just posted, and it's going through the chat, but I just posted the link for our next show. We'll be back in about 7, 8 minutes with Brian Redd. Shani, thanks for being on tonight.
Thank you, guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Big heart, DJ heart for you guys.
Good night, everyone.